Hey, we're talking about net neutrality because there's some new ways to fight back against the repeal of net neutrality. This is from The Hill. States pursue net neutrality rules after FCC vote. What are you talking about? California, New York, Washington are pushing their own versions of net neutrality, and more state governments are expected to do the same, according to a new report from Fast Company. In New York, for example, state legislators are crafting legislation that would allow broadband providers that comply with net neutrality to receive state and local government contracts. How in the hell are these politicians not bought? Because the fracking industry got to them in New York. They're now importing frack gas from New Jersey. Anyway, it's a long story. California legislators are considering something along these lines as well, but are also weighing regulating broadband providers directly via consumer protection laws. In Washington state, legislators have proposed a bill similar to the FCC net neutrality rules. Should internet service providers not live up to the net neutrality standards, states and consumer groups would be able to pursue action against them accordingly. That's pretty good news, huh? This also, after beating cable lobby, Colorado City moves ahead with Muni broadband. So the subtitle to this is Fort Collins, that's the place in Colorado, plans universal broadband, net neutrality, and gigabit speeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Comcast and a lot of the other cable lobby, they ran a huge campaign to try to discourage voters from getting it on the ballot. Voters got it on the ballot anyway. And now City Council approved to move ahead with it because they voted for it, and now City Council.
Okay, so that's how it worked. They had grassroots it up.
Mm-hmm.
This is for votefornetneutrality.com. They say it's 2018. If they don't vote for net neutrality this spring, we can vote them out in November. The FCC just ignored the public and killed net neutrality. But in 2018, Congress will have a simple up or down vote on whether to overturn the FCC or betray 83% of American voters in a close election year. You think they'll do that? I think they will if their donors tell them to. If they don't vote for net neutrality, we won't vote for them. They'll listen or pay. So that's what they're saying. I didn't know about there's going to be. Did you know about that, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to this website and you can see like they can instate a CRA where Congress overturns this. And again,
what's a CRA?
It's a Congressional Review Act, and it's basically when they can overturn something. Now, of course, this is the way I see it. This would be a pretty difficult path, given the structure of government. I mean, Trump would have to sign off on it at the end and stuff too.
Well, it's a Republican-controlled House. How are they going to even get it up for a vote?
Well, some Republicans are coming around to net neutrality.
There are.
You know, it is so. But it's one of those things. I mean, we kind of highlighted all of the solutions here, from building your own municipal broadband, which I think is the kind of permanent fix for all this, and down to having state level net neutrality laws, right, down to a CRA. So there's and then of
CRA
course,
meaning a Congressional
Review Act, and then there's also the there's all these organizations that are going to take the FCC to court over this, and they have some pretty big backing. So I mean, it's one of those things like, one of my favorite TV shows as a kid was a show called Captain Planet. And whenever they were fighting a bad guy, they all had their rings and they were all, using their rings' power against the monster, right? This is kind of one of those things. I don't know which one's going to work, but we got to throw all the rings
at the
monster.
I like the municipal broadband solution.
I do too.
Local municipalities doing that. Gigabit speeds in Fort Collins, Colorado. I can't get it here in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood.
Yep.
You'd think they would be up on all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. They're not. Los Angeles, behind Fort Collins, Colorado, in technology. Isn't that amazing?
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things. I mean, states are entertaining the idea like, hey, we're not going to let you use our poles, like our infrastructure poles, unless you commit to net neutrality. And it's like, you know what? Why don't we just take these poles back and build our own infrastructure? That'd be even better.
We already got the poles there. They already got the conduit. They already got, just go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. So there's some more positives about net neutrality. That's good to hear. It's good to hear what happened at Fort Collins. And we need to keep doing it all around. They're doing it in lots of places. And then they're also providing free Wi-Fi in a lot of cities, too. Like a lot of hotspot. Minneapolis did that. So you have free Wi-Fi everywhere. Can you imagine that? Let's get free Wi-Fi at gigabit speeds. Can you imagine that?
Yep.
That's what I really want. Free Wi-Fi gigabit speed. Gigabit. Anything, Steph, on this?
Well, we've talked about it before. That this is like electricity. This is like water. These are things that each city should be providing for the citizens. That totally makes sense. Like why are we? Oh, but I just went to this one website and they're saying vote them out.
What website did you go to?
This one is right now. This is Technica.com, and there's a movement that it's Fight for the Future, and it was just launched yesterday, and it's about voting those congressmen out of office who voted to take the internet away from us for the most part.
Right. Well, they haven't voted yet.
And we can't rely on policy to protect us indefinitely, because otherwise this fight's just going to keep resprouting up every couple years.
Right.
The way it has been. We had this fight before when we had a Democrat sitting in the White House. We've talked about this plenty on the show. We almost lost it then.
Lost it under Barack Obama. He was on the fence about net neutrality, and he finally came down on the right side.
So, I mean, we're just going to keep having this fight over and over again. So really the big permanent fix is municipal broadband. But because, losing the internet as we know it will be so catastrophic, I say we got to try all the above. If you want to write your representative, make sure they're supporting congressional intervention. Definitely do so. Look into building municipal in your neighborhood, and like look into some of these organizations that are taking the FCC to court, because we gotta throw every hurdle at this thing. I think
I'm all for throwing every hurdle or every ring, or every whatever we got. All right. Well, we'll keep updating you on net neutrality. And, until they throttle us. Please make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are, you might not be. Great way to help support the show. Come to a live show. There's links right underneath.